The airport buzzed with its usual blend of polished calm and underlying haste, the software of rolling luggage, voices at check-in counters, the occasional boarding call echoing through glass and steel. Morning light poured through the high windows, golden and sharp, catching on polished tiles and crisp uniforms. In this curated world of order and rank, where class distinctions were spoken softly but upheld rigidly, a woman walked with quiet certainty. Her name was Vanessa Cole. She wore a navy blue hoodie, clean white sneakers, dark denim jeans, and her hair was pulled back into a sleek low bun. With sunglasses resting over her eyes and a black duffel in hand, she approached the Skylux priority counter. The woman behind the desk glanced up with a professional smile that didn't quite meet her eyes. Her name tag read Marissa. "Hi there. Assistant services are actually just down the hall on your left," she said gently, gesturing with a slight tilt of her head. Vanessa lifted her phone, flicking to the boarding pass. "I'm in the right place," she said calmly. "First class. Skylux priority." Marissa blinked. Her smile faltered for half a second before she covered it with overcompensating cheer. "Of course. May I see your ID?" The check-in was completed without further incident, but the silence between them carried more weight than any spoken apology. Vanessa took her pass, said nothing, and moved toward the Skylux Elite Lounge. Inside the lounge, a curated hush reigned. Jazz music played softly. Business travelers typed rapidly. A couple discussed their honeymoon in Paris in whispered tones. Vanessa settled near a window, sunlight pooling at her feet. She opened her e-reader and lost herself in a memoir. Minutes later, a man approached. Late 50s, khaki blazer, loafers, the type that always gave unsolicited opinions. "I think you might be in the wrong section," he said with a lowered voice, as if doing her a favor. Vanessa didn't flinch. She pulled out her platinum Skylux card, holding it up briefly. The man stared at it like it had insulted him. "Oh, well, enjoy." He turned without another word. Vanessa returned the card to her pocket and continued reading. Her phone buzzed. "Boarding in 25 minutes. She replied quickly, "All good. We'll text before takeoff." She noticed a woman 2 seats down glance her way. "Not hostile. Just curious." The woman whispered to her husband. Vanessa nodded subtly. She'd spent her life reading the difference between interest and judgment. Her thoughts drifted to her father's voice. "You don't raise your voice when you walk in truth." When pre-boarding was announced, she gathered her things and headed toward Gate 8. A gate agent scanned her pass. "Welcome aboard, Ms. Cole." Vanessa boarded with quiet grace. Inside the plane, a tall male flight attendant greeted her. "Welcome aboard," he said, then eyed her duffel. "Is that your personal item or carry-on?" "Personal item," she replied. "Within the size limit." He gave a short nod, stepping aside. She took seat 2A by the window. As she settled, a man in his mid-60s in a tan blazer arrived. He hesitated. "Excuse me," he told the same flight attendant. "I'm in 2B, but could I switch? Maybe another aisle?" The attendant forced a smile. "Let me see what we can do." Vanessa heard the whisper, "It's not personal." It always was. The man was reassigned to 3C. Then the flight attendant leaned toward Vanessa. "If you prefer a quieter section, we have availability in Economy Plus," he offered. Vanessa looked up slowly. "I paid for this seat. I'll stay in it." He gave a tight nod and moved on. When the welcome drink tray came through, she was skipped. She pressed the call button. 10 minutes later, a young woman appeared. "Sparkling water, please," Vanessa requested. It arrived eventually in a plastic cup, not the crystal others had received. Later, a child tripped while running past and hit her bag. The boy's mother came in hot. "Did you trip my son?" she demanded. Vanessa remained calm. "He ran into my bag." The woman scoffed. "Maybe you shouldn't run a business from a plane." Flight attendants nearby ignored the exchange. Vanessa messaged someone, "Boarded." Tension starting. "Yes, I'm breathing." Eventually, turbulence struck. Oxygen masks dropped. The lead attendant, whose name tag read Caleb, assisted everyone around Vanessa but skipped her. Helped the man next to her. Didn't even glance her way. Later, she asked to speak with him. "You skipped me," she said calmly. "You had your mask on," he replied. "So did others. You helped them. I was moving quickly." Vanessa's voice stayed even. "You weren't doing your job. You were doing your version of it." Silence. Then came Jordan, guest relations lead. He asked Vanessa to follow him to a lounge area to clarify a profile discrepancy. She followed. Inside, another staff member presented her with a behavioral compliance form. "Sign it," they said, "or we relocate you." Vanessa stared. Then wrote a single word, "declined." Back in her seat, she retrieved her phone. Opened a secure app. Typed, "Initiate Tier 4 audit. Discretionary clause. Skylux Holdings. Freeze pending Q3 tranche." Then she hit send. Within minutes, executives were receiving alerts. The $3.8 billion post-crisis investment she managed was now frozen. Word spread among passengers. Someone whispered her name. Vanessa Cole? The Nova Group CEO? Urban Transit Initiative? Forbes Impact 100. A young couple confirmed it, staring wide-eyed. The energy shifted. Attendance grew visibly tense. Caleb reappeared. "We'd like to offer a revised meal option." Vanessa tilted her head. "You mean the one that wasn't available? The vegan meal I pre-ordered weeks ago?" He nodded silently. She waved it off. A corporate notification hit Skylux HQ. Subject: urgent. Content: clause breach. Tier 1 stakeholder. Compliance violation. By the time the plane landed, the airline's CEO, Miriam Sloan, had already called an emergency meeting. Vanessa left the plane in silence, escorted by two quiet professionals from her team. A black car waited. Printed on the door: Nova Equity Capital investing $3.8 billion in accountability. That night, Skylux issued a public statement. Hollow. Too late. Within 48 hours, the investment was formally withdrawn and reallocated to Horizon Elevate, a smaller airline with a proven DEI record. Trevor was terminated. Camille was warned. CEO Miriam Sloan was summoned to testify before a Senate panel. Vanessa didn't gloat. She didn't post. She attended a conference quietly a year later, opening with one line. "You don't have to yell to be heard. Sometimes silence is the sound of systems breaking." And from that silence, something new took flight.